All righty. Go ahead, Tina. Take it away.
Well, as like one of my favorite guys on TikTok talks about the top three dogs of the week, I'm going to talk about the top three corners of the week. And number one is Lattimore with the New Orleans Saints. He has 5 pass deflections. He's had 1 interception. He has 0 yards and 0 TDs. In two is Slay from the Eagles. We all know that lovely interception and run he had last week that went for 70 yards in the game. He also has 4 pass deflections. And then this was the interesting thing that I found. There are 14 people tied for third place according to ESPN stats. 10 of those are cornerbacks. So to lead into it, I could have picked any one of them, but I decided that it's going to kind of lead into my second part of this, which is, so we're going to talk about Rasul, and if I butchered his name, I am so sorry to Packer fans. Well, maybe not. Douglas, who has 3 pass deflections, 1 interception. He's also had 10 solo tackles and 2 assists. So those are the top 3 corners of the week. And just for a little information from last week's game that I know Sean and I were interested in, Pat Surtain and Forbes were also one of those 10 cornerbacks who tied for third. It's a crazy stat. Like 10 cornerbacks all had on the exact same number of pass deflections. So, okay. I'm going to make this one a little bit easier. That's my segue into the question that Scott Thaler had last week about the Packers ownership and whether or not the town members who have a stock in the Packers organization would be considered owners or not. So in the comments, I said, no, they would not be considered an owner according to the NFL. And that's true. That is it. They would not be considered owners. But I did a little deep diving and I got some information for you. Okay, so first of all, the Green Bay Packers are the only nonprofit, community-owned major league franchise. No other franchise has this type of ownership. Now, the interesting thing is that no other NFL will ever have this type of ownership because it was grandfathered in 1980 when they changed the rules as to what ownership can be. And now under the rules for the NFL, the most owners you can have is 32, and one owner has to own at least 30% or more of the stake in the team. So that's why I kind of mentioned in the comments, like there was a discussion about doing crypto, like all of the Bronco fans getting together to do crypto and raise money to buy the team for ourselves. It would not be allowed. It wouldn't pass the test to be able to be an owner. But so here's the question. Why aren't the Packer fans or the people of Green Bay considered to be an owner? Well, first of all, I don't know if anyone knows about corporate stock ownership, so I'm going to explain that really quickly. In normal corporations, you have what's called common stock and premium stock. Common stock is usually what a lot of us have if we have 401ks or investing in stocks. If you have premium stock, or that's where the real money is the best way I can put it. The common stock has less voting rights. You're not able to be on the board, et cetera, et cetera. You can still bring lawsuits for stockholder lawsuits and things like that, but your rights aren't as much as someone who has premium stock in a company. So this is kind of where the Packers Township is at too. They do get 1 share of stock, but there are over 537,000 shares of stock in the Packers organization. And only one person, you can't own more than 200,000 shares at any one time, and nobody owns that much. So the way those shares work is you don't include equity in the company. So you can't put a lien on it, you can't mortgage it, you can't do anything like that. There are no dividends, you don't get any money. It can't be traded on the stock market. There are no security law protections. So under normal corporate law, if you have a share in stock and it goes under, there's some wrongdoing that the board has done, you as a stockholder have protections under the securities law to be able to bring a stockholder's suit. Can't do that with the Packers. And it doesn't give it, there's no season ticket purchase privileges with that stock or that one ownership that you have. You can't resell your ticket except back to the team for a discounted amount. And you can give new shares as gifts, but it can only be to immediate family members. So all those things that I've started listing, those are the reasons why I say they are not owners under the gambling laws. They can do whatever they want to do because as far as I'm concerned, it's just a nice piece of paper to hang up on your wall and say, hey, I own a stock of the Packers, because they don't have any voting rights. The Packers organization itself is led by 7 members of an executive committee, and those members change in and out as needed. So it's one of those that it's a nice little tidbit to say you own part of a company, but they really don't in my book. So there we are. Packers ownership and what it really is.
Nice. Thank you very much, Tina, for that. We do appreciate that.